This is our walking horse gelding. Ed's where there's smoke. We call him Smokey. He's about 2.5, I think, and he's out of my stallion, the Diamond Trip, who's over there in that, right there in that stall there. He's a smoky black. That means he has one cream gene and on a black base color. So it'd be like a dark chocolate brown, almost black. And Kevin's working here at Liberty. We do a lot of this. You'll see people doing desensitizing horses, and a lot of times they'll have a lead rope on. That's fine too. We do it both ways. This way, if the horse wanted to, you just get up and walk away. You can kind of tell, like, you get a good beat on maybe how sensitive they are and all that kind of good stuff here. But so Kevin put him in here just mostly to just let him run around and exercise a little bit, but then just started working with him too. And this is all just part of the horse. What we're trying to do is help the horse learn to be calm around people. There's going to be some weird things that we do, as people, and weird for a horse's, from a horse's perspective. And so there's like weird things we'll do, and I call it just being part of our human world, which they are a part of. And only fair to them for us to show them that, different things that are around that they may think are just terrifying or nothing to worry about, in conjunction with their human that they're working with. And horses are really smart. I mean, they're really super smart, and they'll pick up on this kind of stuff. They'll know that, okay, I don't have to worry about it with Kevin or with whoever, or is working the horse. You can kind of see in the background there. That's my horse. I do a lot of work with. That's Julio there. See him? He's just hanging. I just brushed him out, and when Kevin's done here, I'm gonna turn him loose in here and let him run around. I'll work with him a little bit too. What he's doing right there, if you see, is he's trying to get him. He's putting his hand up there and very slightly touching it. See when he dropped his head there? Like, I'll zoom in on. See, watch. He drops his head the slightest bit. He lets go of the pressure. Watch. See? So, and that'll really come in handy when he's bridling the horse. He's bridling Smokey and stuff, and putting on his halter. So you put your hand up there on their pole, and they'll learn to drop their head and bring it down to you instead of raising it up to keep it away from you. And this kind of stuff. See how he's hooked onto Kevin and following him around. I see a lot of people criticize round pens and some lunging groundwork and stuff like that. And some people, the people that I'm talking about who have a problem with it, refer to it as, generally just chasing the horse around, and they'll say the derogatory terms. I really don't think the people that are saying that kind of stuff understand what's going on, or they've not been around somebody working this kind of groundwork with more finesse. They're generally referring to seeing people who are just pretty brutish about it, maybe not as skilled yet, maybe don't have different, I call it volume settings on their pressure and their release and stuff like that. They're just either kind of one size fits all kind of thing. But when you really learn about it, and when you get good at it, you can be very subtle, because horses will really pick up on some of the subtlest body language. Um, Eric always says, and they can feel a fly land on them, Well, they're even more sensitive to your body language than they are to physical touch, I think. I mean, they are real. They're geniuses about that, They'll watch the slightest, they'll pick up on the slightest body language things that we might not even be aware of. So this is how we put a halter on them. It's a rope, but we always use rope halters. I like them because there's not much to them, and when the pressure's off, they don't, it's really nothing. They're really light, But you can kind of see how Smokey, he's hooked onto him, and you see how he's yawning there a little bit. So we just do this kind of stuff a lot with them and get them used to just being around us and stuff. And we'll do some fast motion sometimes, and they learn to just take it in stride. One of the funny things that I think is, like, when you're working with a horse, they may be scared to death of like a rag blowing in the wind, or a plastic bag, or any little thing, right? And I'm real super jumpy, all this kind of stuff. And then when you get out there in the pasture, say I have to unclog a automatic waterer or something like that, and I got some tools in my back pocket, and I'm, screwdriver, I'm taking something apart, maybe a wrench. Those horses won't leave you alone. They just pester the daylights of you, taking the tools out of your back pocket, and just, you can't even chase them away hardly. So it's funny, that's why I tell people a lot, you want to work with a horse's curiosity. Try to tap into that, because they are really, really super curious. And all this groundwork, it should translate into the saddle too. And so that's just pressure there, it's to get him to step away a little bit. See that? See how he's watching him. See how the slack's in the rope. He's not holding up underneath the halter, like where the knot is. He's not holding the horse there. You'll see a lot of people do that kind of stuff. I think they feel they have more control. You actually have less, and you're actually not even your release time, and you're putting way more pressure on them, and it just makes everything worse. So slack in the rope. Now see how much slack there is in that rope right there. This is a horse that he's worked with quite a bit, so that's fine. He kind of knows what this horse will throw at him. But when we first do it, when we first work with a horse, we don't know if they're going to be, when they're going to kick and all this kind of stuff. We're about an arm's length away from that knot underneath his chin. Okay, right there, right? So picture an arm's length, and what we do that for is, if for some reason they get spooked, or they feel threatened, or they go into fight mode and they're going to kick, we could jerk the horse's head away towards us, and that will swing the hind end away, and that'll keep you from getting kicked, So you wouldn't start with that much slack with a horse you don't know, because he's got it's almost probably forearm length there, 4 arms, or 2 big arm spans with 2 arms. So what I'm talking about is 1 arm length is when we start, when we first start working, when we don't know the horse. That's about the distance that we'll have. So almost about half of what you see in there. But like I said, Kev's worked with Smokey here quite a bit, and so he knows what he'll throw at him and stuff like that. And Smokey, for Smokey to kick him right now, it would be very uncharacteristic of the horse and their relationship, because Smokey has a relationship with Kevin here, you know. So just playing around with this kind of stuff, you know. See, I flinched a little bit there. Just bumped it on his side. All this kind of stuff is good for him, you know. And I don't know if you can hear, but Kevin's exhaling and stuff and trying to bring his heart rate down and all that kind of stuff, because horses will pick up on all that, you know. And, you know, you don't have to do this every time or anything, but, you know, he's still new to all this, so. And he's looking at, he's watching, looks like Zach's over there, I think. See how they lead real nice and easy. This is how our horses will be. So this is Ed's where there's smokes. He's getting him to drop his head there again. Look at that, see? So that's what we're doing here with Smokey right now.
Good boy.
He's a good boy. Thanks for watching.
Should people subscribe? They should. Hey, smash that like button and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.